Good. We are good. Okay. Good evening from Warren Field in Brawley, California. I am Tom Ronco, and we are set to bring you exciting 2021 Brawley High Wildcat football. Tonight, the first meeting ever between the Warriors of Fallbrook High School and the Brawley High Wildcats. Fallbrook, a school the second oldest in the San Diego County. And let me see, I got that. It was founded in 1893. And I can't imagine there was a whole lot between San Diego and Fallbrook, which is right up on the Orange County, San Diego County border. Who knows what county it was even in back in 1893. But the teams have been around for a long time, but as far as anyone can tell me, this is the first meeting between the two teams. Although they have met plenty in every other sport, it's just the first time in football. And the Wildcats happy to be hosting next year at this time. I imagine we'll be wearing windbreakers and everything else up at Fallbrook because it's going to be pretty chilly up in the mountains, I would imagine, by that time of year. With me tonight, Coach Don Biaggi, and that's going to rattle a few cages out there. We will be talking with Don and be sharing some insights, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we get closer to the kickoff. Speaking of the kickoff, in a year when we have seen just about everything happen, and when you think you have seen everything happen, something else happens. So here we go. First of all, the Wildcats have 2 Thursday night games. They had a Saturday night game last Saturday night, and now more bus troubles, and I don't know what it is with Brawley High and buses these days, but they are tending to cause issues. Fallbrook's bus did not get there on time. They mismanaged, I guess, whatever, and they showed up late. They are out there warming up, as you can see. The Wildcats are warming up. Game tentatively slated to start in about 6 minutes. The band is getting ready to go on the field as if we're going to start in 6 minutes, but we shall see because we are getting word that it might be pushed out a little bit more than that in deference to Fallbrook being able to warm up. Meanwhile, the Brawley High Wildcats come into the game with a 3-2 record. The season started out for the Wildcats with 2 consecutive losses, one to the number 1 team in Division III of the San Diego CIF, Mater Dei. The Crusaders taking the Wildcats by a score of 53-21. It was actually a good football game, and for the Wildcats, it was a good showing. It's a good loss in the power rankings, competitive equity San Diego CIF, and for Mater Dei, they just keep winning, and we are real happy about that because when they win, up goes the rankings for the Brawley High Wildcats as well as for the Crusaders. Next was Valley Center, and we traveled up there on a hot and muggy afternoon, and the Wildcats lost that one 17-6. Could have been anybody's ball game, and the Wildcats missed a couple opportunities to score. Valley Center not doing as well as the Wildcats had hoped. They are 2-3 on the season. Their 2 wins are over Imperial and Brawley. Then the Wildcats still on the road. First 3 games on the road. Next 3 games, including this one tonight at home. The Wildcats went to Indio on a Thursday night, took on the Rajas. Rajas picked up their first win of the week last week, so they are now 1-3. Wildcats had absolutely no trouble with them up at Indio. Pulled out their first win of the year, 48-13. The next couple of weeks, we took on the Cibola Raiders out of Yuma, Arizona. And last Saturday night, because Gila Ridge had bus problems, they show up on Saturday night. Doesn't matter. The Wildcats ring up 49 points in each victory, beat Cibola's Raiders by 49-8, and avenged their only loss in 2019 to the Gila Ridge Hawks by burying them 49-13. The 13 points came during kind of mop-up time. Tonight they take on the Fallbrook Warriors. Fallbrook comes in out of the Valley League, and that's kind of goes up through Ramona and the back valley, back half of San Diego County. And Fallbrook Open League and lost to the Ramona Bulldogs by a score of 28-21. That's the game that Coach John Self scouted. Said it was really hard to tell what happened, that Ramona scored the first on their first 2 drives, and then they had a fumble and a couple of other miscues, and suddenly it's 14-14. Then it's 21-14 in favor of Fallbrook at halftime, but then Ramona comes out and scores 2 unanswered touchdowns and wins 28-21. So we're really not sure exactly what's going on. One of the captains without a lid, without a helmet out on the field, so I'm assuming he may or may not be playing. Doesn't look like I don't know how you go out there without a helmet on the field, but you can. We have a honorary coin toss. Fallbrook, again, a power in the 1970s and 1980s in San Diego County, but since then has kind of fallen off the radar to the point that they are now a Division V school, and we believe the Hauteville Viking coaching staff is here because they feel like they're going to see Fallbrook in the San Diego CIF Division V playoffs. Brawley not looking to play Division V schools, but that's who they ended up with tonight. Like the Wildcats, a junior-laden team is Fallbrook. They will, like Brawley, run the wing T offense, and like Brawley, have an odd man front on defense. So the Wildcats playing kind of a mirror image of themselves tonight. Look for 26 power from their fullback, and that is number 3. I just had his roster here and don't know what I did with it. And anyway, we will give you him out. Here it is. His name is Josh McBroom, 5'10". His name is Marquise Washington. He's a sophomore, 5'7", 136 pounds. Kind of hard to find when you start running a little bit of misdirection and everything. Their quarterback is number 3, Josh McBroom. He's a senior, 5'10", 160 pounds, and he can run the ball some. We have not seen him throw a lot in the films that they have exchanged, and when he does, he throws to wide receiver Charlie Stallings. Stallings, 6'6", 180 pounds, so his height, as always, will present a little bit of a challenge to the Wildcat defensive backs. For the Brawley High Wildcats, all hands on deck with the exception of Claudio Angulo. Angulo remains out since the first game of the season. Not sure when he's going to come back. Brody Enders, a defensive lineman and offensive tight end who has been in and out of the lineup, is back in the lineup tonight. We are getting ready for our national anthem, and then we will continue with a pregame and introduce my guest host for tonight, Coach Don Biaggi, after this. Our national anthem by the Brawley Union High School Band. And we are going to get ready for football, so we will step back. That'll be it for the pregame show. Wildcats, I believe, lost the toss. Fallbrook, as now happens every week, has deferred, so they will get the second half kickoff. Brawley will get the football to start the game. I'd like to remind you, you are listening to or watching the webcast of the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting, brought to you by Barnitsky Vision Care Centers and One World Beef Packers, also Desert RV and A&R Construction. Also sponsoring tonight's webcast, Hart Insurance Centers in Brawley and El Centro, Johnny's in Imperial, El Centro, and Brawley, Brownies, and the Town Pump, all one and the same. We'll explain that one more time to you. Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate. The Man Company on Main Street. Fry Chapel and Mortuary. Brant's Beef and Ojeda Industries, along with Clayton Drain Tile Maintenance Service, Litco and Carter Taylor, the Dom Team, Doug and Andrew for Real Estate, OK Rubber Tire Company, Clicka Parker Insurance Company, and Jordan Central Implements in El Centro, Brawley and Indio. Welcome to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football, the webcast. And joining me tonight, we've been kind of rotating with guest commentators. Former Brawley High Wildcat coach, teacher, 30-some-odd years. He'll tell you exactly in a moment. Former track coach, my assistant coach in basketball, did about everything. And a former football coach. Well, actually, former, let me introduce him, Don Biaggi. And just going to rattle a few cages out there. Say hello to all your ex-students, Don.
How you doing, everybody? Great night for a ball game, and it should bring a lot of exciting movements out there. Looking forward to seeing the two different structures in their offense going against one another.
It's going to be interesting. As I said, it appears that they're going to be mirror images. Both run the wing T. Both like to have an odd man front. And most of you remember Coach Biaggi as your social studies teacher or as your track coach, cross-country coach, and again, everything but football. But let me just tell you that Don was born and raised in Albany, California, and if you go to the Albany Football Hall of Fame, Don is in there as being a member of an undefeated team, also for all of his exploits in high school. Played his college ball at Sac State, and then went on to coach at Pacific University in Oregon. So he knows his football. He's probably forgotten more football than I know, but we'll see how it goes. Tonight we are going to, again, Brawley is going to receive, and back deep is going to be number 6. That's Daniel Camilo Jr., and I believe he may have ran track for his father, may have run track for Don. And also back there, number 4, and that's Brian Portis. And here comes the opening kick. And it's going to be bouncing. Portis is going to take it on the 5, out to the 10, trying to get somewhere. Nice kick, nice cover, and Don kicked it away from him, and then when it hops, you just got to kind of sit there and wait for it to come down. There's nothing you can do.
Pretty much so, but you can't take your eyes off of it. That's always going to be the key, no matter what that oblong ball does. You've got to keep your eyes on it.
Okay, not very many games tonight. Most teams took the bye. This is the 6th week. So most teams played their 5 preseason games and were able to negotiate a bye tonight. Imperial is playing tonight, and believe Calipatria may be playing tonight, and that's it. So focus in the Valley here on the Wildcats. Ethan Gutierrez, the junior quarterback, brings him out, and he's going to give to Isaiah Young. And if they watched any film at all on Brawley, they know the first carry always goes to Young. The first carry always goes right into the middle of the line. Isaiah's broken, Don, 2 of those for touchdowns on the first series in the last 3 games, I believe. Or no, 2 games, in Indio and in Cibola. But they were waiting for him that time.
Yeah, they pinched down pretty tight.
Okay, out of the shotgun is Gutierrez. He has trips to the right, 1 lone receiver to the left. That's Washington down there. He looks for Washington. Washington makes the catch, and he gets spun out of bounds. It's going to be, yeah, okay. Ref didn't look like he was going to get to the spot. The Wildcats, who had the ball on the 19-yard line, advanced it out to the 25. Yeah, 25. We'll call it 3rd and 4 as the Wildcats again try to get the game going. And we'll see what they can do. Okay, Wildcats will put Gutierrez under center. He's the threat to run, as is Isaiah, and Isaiah is going to get nowhere. So the Brawley Wildcats come out and do exactly what Fallbrook was hoping they would do on their first possession, is go 3 and out. And that's the gamble you take when you kick off, Don, and defer to the second half. And so far, that gamble's working out for Fallbrook.
Yeah, they've had the first 3 plays covered pretty well from their scouting reports, and it's going to be interesting the adjustments Brawley makes.
Okay, back to kick is Tanner Carranza, and he bombs a beauty and making a fair catch. But Carranza really launched that one. Line of scrimmage was a 25, and so give him 25, about 37, 8 yards, but good air underneath it, Don.
Yeah, excellent tip up, and then it died, and that's why he went to his knees and caught it, because it was floating back away from him.
Okay, and when you go to your knees in high school, you're down. Forget all that NFL stuff, you're down. Okay, 2 men in motion. Now they're going to reset. They reset the wing tee, and here comes Fallbrook, and on their first carry, they're going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. So Fallbrook comes out running.
Very good blocking on that side by Fallbrook. It gave him a real nice hold for the length of time of the 2 seconds it took him to get there and then make that cut. And if it keeps doing that, there's going to be a break on it.
Okay, cut it back into the middle, actually into traffic, and as Don is saying, he'll do that probably a couple times and then take it outside. Double wing team, man in motion, and the give again is going to be, but this time number 77 for the Wildcats is there. But at 5'7" and 140 pounds or so, the problem is, Don, that 77, and I'll get his name for the Brawley Wildcats, that's Levantis Pittman. He got him, but he couldn't get him down because he couldn't get him low enough.
Yeah, I got him around just underneath the shoulder pads. You got a lot of strength to carry somebody that way.
And Levangelis does. He kind of held him long enough to get some help. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and short. First drive, Brawley went 3 and out. We are about 3.5 minutes already into this football game. And here comes Fallbrook. They want to run the football, and they do. And getting out in the open and breaking a tackle, but then getting brought down from behind. As you were right, Don, they went left, and then countered back to the right. So a nice run out there. I didn't get the tackle. I'll have to work on that a little bit. And right now, Fallbrook feeling it. They get themselves a first down at the Brawley 44-yard line. With a nice move, and he's going to take it all the way. It is an end around, I believe. Oh, number 5. Let's see. It's that's halfback Marquise Washington, and Washington gets outside and just goes right around Brawley. And suddenly the Wildcats, who have been winning big the last couple of weeks, 49-8, 49-13, are stunned and trail 7-0 or 6-0. Okay, and we're going to have extra point attempt coming up. Spot is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good with plenty of leg. A look at the scoreboard, and the Brawley High Wildcats trail by a score of 7-0 with 8:06 to play here in the first quarter. Don, the drive?
The drive was very well planned out by Fallbrook. They kept Brawley a little off balance, and then when they came back on that outside, he made that move, a little move inside and turned out, and he was able to get his shoulder pads in front of the Brawley tackler. And then once he did that, he was able to break because he had a blocker there for him.
Okay. And as soon as we get to kickoff, we are going to drop in some of our very, very fine sponsors. But for now, Camilo and Portis, that's Brian Portis. There are 2 on the team. Brandon and Brian, I believe. Brandon is deep, not Brian. And this is Brandon, and he's going to let it go into the end zone wisely. Let us step back for a moment with Brawley trailing 7-0. We'll be right back. Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting, and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley Football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos in El Centro, Brawley and Imperial, Ojeda Industries, and the Man Company. Okay, welcome back to Warren Field. Wildcats Ethan Gutierrez with trips to the right, and he's going to give to Isaiah Young. And again, Young is going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. They are really jamming up that middle.
They're Fallbrook's three linemen down in front of the center. They're getting off a half a step earlier than Brawley is, and they're plugging it up real fast, keying on Brandon Young.
Okay, might be a good time to change the cadence a little bit.
That or fake to him and roll out.
Yeah, okay, we'll see what the Wildcats pick. They now send trips to the left and one wide receiver to the right. Lone back is Isaiah Young. Yet to run is Gutierrez. He looks back, he throws, and he has Platt. And Robert Platt goes down on the 26-yard line. And so 13 to number 17 will pick up about 6 yards for the Brawley High Wildcats. And we will talk a little bit about Platt in a moment. Jay Platt, very near and dear to both Don and I. Back from the 70s. 7 minutes to go. The Wildcats now need this first down. So this is a critical play. You want to stop that momentum Fallbrook has, and we'll see what happens. Okay, double tight end, Strong to the left, and they're going to throw out in the flat to Portis, and Portis is wide open, and they are noticing that Portis was not covered on. He was just wide open with a lane to run.
Yeah, that was a well executed play. A little bit of fake there, and then a quick toss out. And the way Fallbrook's playing it off as far as they are, they're not going to stop that, and he's going to have running room.
Okay, first down Wildcats. Now Ethan Gutierrez under center, and he's going to keep it. And there's the option. He's got some blocks, and he takes it outside and goes down the sidelines and will be bumped out of bounds. They are going to say keep the clock running, but the Wildcats will pick up about 17 yards on that.
Down to they went out way back there, down 44-yard line.
Okay, so
well executed. He kept his blockers in front of him, and he just one more and a cutback, and he could have been gone.
Okay, so the Wildcats now diversifying a little bit after pretty much running Isaiah on a couple of runs. But I will tell you, Don Biaggi, who's working with me tonight, sooner or later, he will break one. Wildcats now with an H-back and everybody on one side. And here comes Isaiah. And this time Isaiah has more blockers than they have defenders. And Isaiah on first down is going to pick up 9 yards. Yeah. Okay, give him, 9. That's pretty dang close. That time the H-back, Don, we don't see that very often.
No, when it does come, it really does well.
And I believe that this is probably the first time that Fallbrook has seen it. So again, giving them something else to think about in their defensive mix. In motion is the wingback, and here goes Isaiah, but Isaiah is taken down. I'll tell you one thing about Fallbrook. They don't miss tackles.
Yeah, they jammed that up. He had a hole. And he got jammed up just by one man, and it was able to stall him enough, and had a no gain.
Okay. 4:25 to go. Brawley driving the football, trailing 7-0. As Fallbrook took it to the house. And 44-yard touchdown, 44-yard touchdown run for the... And out comes number 31 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That's Chris Camilo. And the Wildcats, and here goes Gutierrez. And Gutierrez is going to take it to the house. A fake to the right, and everybody went for Isaiah. And when they do that, Ethan just pulled the ball back. Nice option run. make it a 38-yard touchdown run. And the Wildcats will send out Jorge Hadro. And Hadro's kick is up, and it is good. So look at the scoreboard. It is 7-7 here with 3:52 to go in the first quarter, and we're going to be right back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by OK Rubber Tire Company, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor in Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile, and Fry Chapel and Mortuary. And now back to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football.
Welcome back. Tom Ronco with Coach Don Biaggi. And yes, live and well, all of you former runners and whatnot, and history students of various ilk. Taught about everything in the social studies department, didn't you, Don?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. We're getting ready for the kickoff. Brawley went 3 and out and then paid the price as Fallbrook was able to get Marquise Washington loose 44 yards for a touchdown. But the Wildcats come right back, and Hotho is going to kick it over there, and it's touched. So it's a live football and a nice hit by the Wildcats, but they can't bring him down. And wow, there, that one did it. That is going to teach 21 not to be trying to extend the play, Don. That's something he'll remember, I'm sure. 21 for, oh, I don't have a 21. It must have been 20.
That was the hit that Brawley needed to make in this first period in order to let them know that they're in for a shocking tackle. They didn't do that in their first series of play, and they got caught sleeping.
Okay, here it comes. 1st and 10, Fallbrook. And they're going to give it to a different back. This is number 15. And 15 is going to get buried pretty quickly as the Wildcats are swarming to the football now. Down the bottom of the pile, number 17, Robert Platt got to him first. And when we get a break, we will talk a little bit about that. That it is Robert Platt, again, an interesting story on a couple of different levels. And here they come on 2nd now and 7. They overload to the right, and they're going to come this way with Marquise again. And he, for the second time in a row, Don, he does a little stutter step and lets the Wildcats go by. So maybe they're over pursuing him to a certain extent as Marquise picks up a first down.
Yeah, that was no different than what they did in the first go-around in the first quarter when they had the ball, and they're getting some really good. It looks like they're a cross block of some sort because they're catching Brawley, and Brawley's getting knocked out, and it's opening up the hole.
2:40 to go, 7-7 ball game. They give it this time to number 35. That's Tyler Mendenhall. He's 5'11" and 200 pounds. And on first down, they run the big guy, but he doesn't get very far.
Yeah, that was the same play, except Brawley didn't get knocked off the area.
Okay, Brawley now brings in, I think, a little bit more beef as they bring in number 67 for the Wildcats. And that's Bernie Bustamante. So the Wildcats now going to put a little more beef in there so that they, again, are not getting knocked back. Coming the other way with 15, and the Wildcats are swarming all over that. And they're going to just hold him up. 17, Platt in the middle of that. Let me give you a couple more of the tacklers as they go back. Number 31 for the Brawley High Wildcats. Also in on that tackle, Chris Camilo up from his defensive back position. So the linebackers, Don, getting active, which you have to have when they're doing that to you.
They made a good read on that one, and then they plugged it up before it even got started.
Okay. Fallbrook yet to pass. Could this be the down? No, they're going to kind of do a reverse, and that just didn't look good from the beginning. Too much motion, too much hocus pocus. And the Brawley High Wildcats on 3rd and 9 for the Fallbrook Warriors suddenly stop them. And again, the Wildcats adjusting, Don. That's what you do.
That's absolutely. That one was the dead one before it got started.
Okay, Brawley will take, Fallbrook goes 3 and out. A left-footed kicker, and he's going to kick it over there, and Brawley, oh, he's going to take it. What a gutsy move out there by number 23 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That's Isaiah Young, and they put him in there because they're trying to get him some space on, and you can see his acceleration.
Yeah, absolutely. He had good, if you look at the movement on that one, he had great eye contact on that ball, and his peripheral knew where Fallbrook was, so that's the reason he made the decision to grab it and go.
Okay. His dad, his father, Brandon Young, is the offensive coordinator. Did Brandon run track for you his senior year? He stopped playing baseball, I remember. I'm pretty sure he might have, or he might have just trained on his own. I don't quite remember, but.
No, he was a good one. Try to get him and the others to come on out. Some of them did and not, but he was playing baseball, and I was happy he was doing something for Brawley.
Okay, here we go. Gutierrez under center now is going to throw a quick pass as he gets everybody in there. Nice move out there by number 6. That's Daniel Camilo Jr. And Daniel Camilo Jr. Gets over there, and I don't know, Don, if you saw at the end of the play, but a Fallbrook player who was just kind of trailing the play got blocked pretty much square up and knocked down. That was Robert Platt, the sophomore. So you keep your eye on him. Things happen with Robert, and we want to give a shout out to his mom and dad. Mom, Rosie de Guzman, and Dad, Robert Platt, of course, Grandpa, Jay Platt. Going to be the last play of the first quarter. 7-7 tie, and it's not going to be 7-7 when we start the second quarter. Tanner Carranza in for Isaiah Young, and it probably just threw off Fallbrook, who was looking for number 23, and instead it's number 42, and he just, instead of running right as Isaiah did, he ran left, and there's nobody there, Don.
No, that was a great move. They just totally caught off balance. There's only one tackler out there, and there was no way, because he was ready to knock him down and keep going, and he didn't have to do that. It was a great run.
Tanner Carranza with the touchdown, and the kick is up by Jorge Hadro, and suddenly the Wildcats are up by a score of 14-7. And again, I think the Wildcats, who might have come out a little bit sluggish, appear to have been awoken.
Yeah, I think those two big hits that they made in the early part of this series was the ones that woke up Brawley, and the ones that said, you better do a little better job than what you're doing, Fallbrook, because we're coming after you.
Okay, exactly 1 second left. 0.0, and we will have a break, so we will step back when we get the break. Meanwhile, the Wildcats back out there now, a little more spring in their step, and they will kick off to Fallbrook for the second time. It's probably no secret by now to Don that Hadro has trouble getting it into the end zone, but he is able to do a multitude of kicks, which keeps the receiving team kind of on balance. Let's see what he comes up with this time. And he's going to kind of pooch it the same spot. That worked once. And taking it on the 20 is number 5, and down
nice
he goes.
Tackle.
Great open field tackle out there by number 24 for the Brawley High Wildcats. Gilbert, we're not supposed to call him Tweety Corrales, but you make a tackle like that, I'll call you whatever I want. That's it. Great tackle out there. And again, the young man did not, I think the difference there, Don, is he was trying to get his footing and didn't have a chance to dance.
No, he got a couple of first strides out, and Brawley was too quick on it, and he threw that arm and shoulder out, and he was down before he knew what he hit him.
With the score 14-7, and we're changing quarters, we'll be back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat Football is sponsored by Kickoff Parker Insurance Company, A&R Construction, Brawley Auto Center, Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate, One World Beef Packers, and the Town Pump and Brownies Restaurant. And now, more exciting Brawley High Wildcat football.
Broadcast rights to this BOHS contest have been granted to the Desert Review by Brawley Union High School District and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the production without the express written consent of the Brawley Union High School District is prohibited.
Welcome back to Warren Field. Tom Ronco, Coach Don Biaggi. And we are bringing you exciting 2021 or 2021 Wildcat football. And we are getting ready for the second quarter. For some reason, they have 10 minutes. I thought quarters were 12 minutes. And I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Oh, there we go. Now it's up to 12. All right. And Fallbrook, after a great open field tackle by Gilbert Corrales, has the ball on their own 12-yard line. So number 23 with a great tackle. And they're coming wide. And, escapes the tackle and gets a first down. Going to stay in bounds out there making the tackle. Number 17, Robert Platt, also number 6 for the Brawley High Wildcats, Daniel Camilo. But again, Fallbrook able to get number 5, Marquise Washington, outside. And Don, I don't know how you stop that, quite frankly. You just play a little wider, maybe?
You gotta do what Brawley did, and that is you got to keep the blocker occupied to give the other kids to come over to wrap it up, just like that one right there.
Okay, there you go. Everybody took a block. Marquise got into the secondary. Then he was pile driven out there by number 12 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That is Aiden Torres. And we haven't said his name because he's been in on some tackles, but he's been assisting on them. That time, Don, a nice body slam.
Yeah, another way you can do it, too, is if you get it down, the coaches get it down, you can blow a linebacker real quick through there, and you'll be meeting him before the ball gets to him.
Okay, let's see what the Wildcats do. Second down, and there's going to be motion, of course. As that time they're trying to get out a little bit faster now as Fallbrook.
Right side was offline.
Yep, somebody jumped on the right side of the offensive line. And again, as a former offensive lineman, Don, as a tight end, that you do that, and you know, it's just you're thinking about 100 different things, and you think hut. You know, and if they go hut, you're all messed up. It's probably that simple, right?
Well, you learn your quarterback's rhythm.
Okay, well.
You just hold the hesitation a little bit, in that situation, you're better off.
2nd and 12 now, and back to pass for the first time is Fallbrook. They have a wide open receiver. Back to throw that pass was Josh McBroom, the senior quarterback. He threw a nice ball. He just threw it right by number 2, Charlie Stallings. So in the pregame, we told you that would probably be the go-to hookup. And at 6, what I tell you, Stallings
6'6".
was? Yeah, 6'6". Going up against some of Brawley's Merry Munchkins in the secondary, it's gonna be something they're gonna have to watch. Okay, Stallings is now split out.
They're giving him a lot of room, so they can throw that ball early to him if they want.
Okay, back to pass. Now he's going to throw a deep route. Brawley's back there, and good coverage. Coming over to help out was Aiden Torres, the free safety. But staying with him all the way was Daniel Camilo Jr. And 2 passes and 2 misses to Stallings. Camilo, I'm trying to remember if Daniel, I know he played football for Coach John Self. Name ring a bell in track, Coach?
Yeah. He was there. His dad was there.
Okay, he and his dad probably ran for you, correct? His dad. Okay, Daniel Sr. Here we go. Class of 98. And Brawley almost blocks this left-footed punt. And because of that, he gets a bad spin. The Wildcats get a good little comeback on that. And you know, Don, God bless our daughters, but that left-handers, the ball just comes off different.
Yeah, that left-footed kicker, if he just took us a little more time, he could place it anywhere. He's a pretty good kicker, but that time he got a little anxious, and we got the advantage of that at the 49-yard line of Fallbrook.
Okay, so Brawley takes over. Yes, Brawley on the Fallbrook 49. You're right. I had that kind of messed up. And it'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats. They're leading by a score of 14-7. We have about 10 minutes and 13 seconds to go here in the first half. If you're joining us and wondering why we're not at halftime, game did not start till 7:30. Nice little weaving in and out run out there that time, and that's Tanner Carranza again. Interesting story about him, Don. Of course, you taught with his dad, Pedro Carranza, Brawley's baseball coach. But Tanner is good friends with the quarterback, Ethan Gutierrez, and asked during the pandemic, can I come play football? And Coach John Self said, yeah, sure. And then Ethan went out and asked Pedro Carranza, can I play baseball? So now he's a baseball player. So kind of Brawley working together.
Absolutely.
Here's Gutierrez. He's got a wide and a slot out to the left. Here comes Tanner again. This time they're waiting for him and stayed home. So one of the Brawley, somebody getting up a little gingerly, that's Pittman, I believe. For the Wildcats, Levangelist. He's had a little bit of trouble with that leg, and so we don't want to wait too long. So Tanner found out the other side of running back when you don't have any blockers.
Yeah, he carried it out too far. He's got to turn it up. You know he's going to get tackled, but you got to get yardage.
Yeah, he'll learn to cut it back in. It's really his first varsity games. He did not play freshman, I don't believe. So, yeah, given that, he's doing pretty well.
All somebody has to do is just tell him, and then next time you'll see it happen.
Yep.
He's smart enough.
Yes, very good athlete. Brawley now switching everybody around, and Coach John Self did not like the looks of that, and I don't blame him. Okay, we're going to step back and be right back. Tom Ronco, Don Biaggi, you're watching the webcast on the Desert Review with 8:45 to go here in the second quarter. Brawley with the ball and a 14-7 lead.
A&R Construction, serving the Pearl Valley since 1988. 1631 River Drive in Brawley. 760-344-4653. They are the proud sponsors of the Brawley Wildcat broadcast from the Desert Review.
Brant Beef, the true natural, is a proud sponsor of tonight's Brawley Wildcat football game. Brant Beef is dedicated to helping you know the difference and to taste the difference in their beef products. Go Brawley Wildcats from the Brant Beef Company.
Welcome back to Warren Field. Tom Ronco, Don Biaggi analyzing the action for us tonight. And here come the Wildcats on 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun is Gutierrez, trips to the right, lone receiver to his left. And a high snap, but Gutierrez is able to get it. Fierce rush, and down he goes. Gutierrez having that split second of having to get up, tap the ball, catch it, just blew that play up, Don.
Yeah, that's Thomas McShaney, I guess. Linebacker, they blew him right away. He just went as soon as the ball was centered, he went right through.
So a jailbreak cut him loose, ran I guess you can call it a blitz. So the Wildcats, who were looking at 2nd and about 10 from their Fallbrook 39, are now looking at 3rd and 23 back in their own territory at the 47. Okay, a long throw out into the flat, intended out there for number 4, Portis, and it's not going to be, Brandon's not able to bring it in. So the big defensive play by Fallbrook, and they appear to be a fairly good, well-coached team, Don.
absolutely. They've made some adjustments, and everything is settled down now of smash mouth and who can get to the quarterback first to disrupt the play in mind.
Okay, back to punt is Tanner Carranza. He will be punting from his own 34-yard line. Gets a good high spiral off, and the signal for a fair catch. And actually, Brawley's McKay Washington got right in his face, Don, and that could have been a penalty. To me, it looked like he obstructed him from catching it.
Yeah, well, when he came down, the guy gave the signal, and then he backed away from it to let it bounce. And that's when the Brawley athlete moved a little closer and then down the ball.
Okay, nice kick by Carranza. Okay, from his own 34 to the 12. That's, I will have to figure that out. Here we go. And they're going to be running, trying to get outside, and they do. Having trouble corralling Washington for Fallbrook. And the Wildcats, he's finally run out of bounds out there by number 23 for Brawley. That's Isaiah Young. But they're moving the football, Don.
Yeah, that looked like there was a lot more Fallbrook blockers out there that were just shadowing and keeping running forward and letting him make his move.
Okay, Fallbrook's going to get a cut back inside,
wide open.
He's missed it. Now the question is, can they catch him? And Brawley's number 24, that's Gilbert Corrales, is going to get back over there. But that was a great misdirection. I mean,
oh, no.
I would say, Don, they're getting a little bit of everything.
Yeah, this is very much like what they're going to see with all the other league schools they've got, and the more you can get the fumble
on the ground, and I believe the Wildcats have it. Number 73 for the Brawley High Wildcats doesn't want to give the football back, but it's the other team's football, pal. You got to give it to them. I don't have a 73 for the Brawley High Wildcats. I believe it. Oh, 72. I'm sorry. That's Alan, A-L-A-N Carrillo, and he has been a stalwart, Don. He missed the first game. Not injured or anything, just a long story. Missed the first game. But since then, I mean, really has come on, and we could have used him in the first game. Let me tell you that much.
Oh, absolutely. His savvy on how to get on that ball real quick is really important.
Nice fumble recovery. Brawley will get it at their own 34-yard line, and that stops the drive.
A great hand swipe by the Brawley athlete, the Brawley tackler, and just caught that ball. He was carrying it like a breadbasket, and it was gone before he knew what happened.
Delay of game. Brawley cannot get a play in quick enough. That's one of the rare times I've seen that. Offensive coordinator Brandon Young not happy with that. So Brawley goes from they get possession back at their own 34, and then immediately get a penalty for a -5. And now that brings up 1st and 15, something Brawley used to not be really built for, Don.
Yep.
But a little bit more these days. And they give it up the middle, trying to keep everybody honest. But I'll tell you what, Fallbrook's defensive line is not giving up too much ground. Young gets 4 of them back, but not much more.
Yeah, they're standing Brawley up a little bit, and Brawley can't get quite the leverage to move them forward and move them over to the side. That's awfully tight in there. You've got to have some real quick hitting of the linemen in order to open that hole for that back to break into the open. And when he does, it's wide open. As you look on the film, you can see the hole right down the middle of the field if it ever breaks through.
About 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Brawley up 14-7. Just got a turnover. Here they are coming after Ethan, and they decided that the way to stop his passing is to just turn somebody loose on him. And that time, again, Ethan with no time at Don to do anything. They're running for his life, literally.
Soon it's a pass. The offside linebacker is moving very quickly towards him and to get him off his ability to hesitate and make that throw correctly.
Okay, so he's rolling to
his right on this one.
His right on that one, yeah. And again, Fallbrook reading that play and knowing Brawley's probably trying to get a quick short pass, not giving him time to get behind anybody. That brings up 3rd and 12 for the Wildcats. And again, out of the shotgun is Gutierrez. He's got trips and a wide receiver to the right. And now we're going to call timeout. They put Isaiah Young in motion, but something went wrong, and the Wildcats are going to call a timeout. So with the scoreboard saying Brawley 14 and Fallbrook 7 and 4:40 to play here in the second quarter, we will step out for a second and be right back.
Selling or renting a home, or for all your agricultural real estate needs, call on the Dom team, your experienced hometown agents who have served the Imperial Valley since 2002. Let the Dom team make your next real estate transaction more successful and enjoyable. Give Doug or Andrew a call at 760-427-6741. The Dom team, proud supporters of Wildcat football.
Okay, welcome back to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football. Following Brawley's timeout, I believe that was their second of the half. They will try it again. It is 3rd and 12 in their own territory, and Brawley wanted to get this one right. They send Isaiah out to the side, throw over the middle, and in and out of the hands of Brandon Portis. The throw was there. The defender just happened to get in the middle of it, Don.
Yeah,
he didn't intend to. He was playing a zone, and the ball was right where he was.
Yeah, the ball was well thrown, and Portis got his hands on it, but like you said, Fallbrook happened to be covering fairly decently and was able to interrupt the possession of the ball and knock it away. So we've got a kick now. We got to watch out on this series by Fallbrook.
Okay, here we go. Tanner Carranza. They are setting up a return, and Carranza does a quick. Oh, he fumbles the football, and the Wildcats pick it up. Holy Toledo. A fumble on the punt, and Brawley, number 3, I believe, for the Wildcats. That's Noah Gonzalez. Comes up with the fumble recovery on a punt. Number 6 for the Wildcats, Daniel Camilo, buried the return man. He didn't care about the football. He took that guy's head off.
That was a great move on his part, because as soon as he fumbled, he blocked the guy out of the way to the ground, and that ball was free, and all there was 3 Brawleys and no Fallbrook to come help recover that fumble.
Okay, here come the Brawley High Wildcats again. Second straight turnover. Let's see if they can do anything with this one. And Brawley now is going to be switching kind of people around. And now there's just way too many people in motion. And Brawley, I'm telling you, Don Biaggi, who's with us, your former coach, if you're listening in, former teacher, and this is Don's first game, but I'll tell you, we have not had this much confusion offensively all season long. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but the Wildcats, in that case, you can't have 11 men moving around, Don.
No, that was just one too many.
Yeah, like 10 too many. And here we go. And running up the middle on 1st and 15 is Isaiah Young, I'm sure. And Young will not go down, but he will be stopped. And he'll get 4 of them back again.
That was a much better blocking by Brawley that time. Isaiah was right behind his blockers and was able to push forward and get that 5 yards back.
Okay, ball recovered by Brawley on the 34-yard line, and then they lost a couple of yards, and then now they got them back on the Fallbrook 34-yard line. And Brawley now coming up with a 2nd and 11. And again, under center, Ethan Gutierrez, lone back. He's going to give it to Young, and Young now getting some blocking, Don.
Excellent blocking. They made the block, and they kept moving and kept the Fallbrook people off balance because they kept moving and getting in their way, and Isaiah just leaned right on his blockers and went right down that line where they had for him.
Okay, he will pick up 7. Bring up 3rd and short. Here's Ethan. And Gutierrez with a nice move, Don.
Absolutely.
He got the first down, but he absolutely sold that he was going towards the sideline. And then when the Fallbrook defenders committed, he just cut it right back in. Not afraid to take a hit, Don. Not afraid to take a hit.
No, looks like he was put the foot on the bag at third base and was heading home.
Yep, he made that quick kind of pivot. And so for the Wildcats, he's going to pick up about 13 yards on that by number 13. And the ball is now on the Fallbrook 13.
Yeah, it was a great sturdy replacement of his foot down. The whole ball of the foot got there, and he had total control.
Okay, number 31 coming into the game. That's Chris Camilo for the Wildcats. And again, he will put Portis in motion. And Young will run it right up the middle. And Young coughs up the football. And they are saying that Fallbrook has it. And Fallbrook has it. First fumble of the year, I believe, by Isaiah Young. And I'll tell you, the Wildcats, I don't know what they thought coming into this game. They've had a couple of games, 3 games in a row, Don, where they have not been challenged. And they may have needed this game.
Yeah, they absolutely do, because you get too many of those where you're just scoring at will, and you forget how to play the game.
Okay, 2:39 to go. Now Fallbrook is going to take over on the Brawley 9-yard line. And they're going to give it to Washington. He's going to jitter around, but now he's getting caught, and he's going to pay the price. And the Wildcats take him down. That's number 67 there on top of him. That's Bernie Bustamante, who said, "I hugged you long enough. I'm going to put you to sleep."
Yeah, Brandon didn't, the quarterback for Fallbrook didn't see his big wide receiver. He was out there with no defender because the defender was running across the field to get to him. And if they'd have saw that and he didn't hand off and the receiver would have gone downfield, it'd have been 6. It's a broken play in terms of that for Brawley.
Down to 2 minutes. Brawley up 14-7 now, trying to starve off their turnover after getting 2 turnovers in a row from Fallbrook and not being able to do anything. And now suddenly Fallbrook a little bit in disarray, and they are going to call timeout with 1:51 to go and trailing by a score of 14-7. We'll be back.
Got that new home edition
nation and you're keeping it covered.
Brad, I can help with coverages. Man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your mini sides, there's Nationwide. Call Hart Insurance Center, 898 Main Street, Brawley, or in the Prince Plaza, 1503 North Imperial Avenue, El Centro. Since 1945, we have a heart for personal service.
Welcome back to Warren Field. Tom Ronco, Don Biaggi. Minute 51 to go in a 14-7 game in favor of the Brawley High Wildcats. And the band in the background been back to pass out of the end zone. And he's got a man, but he just overshoots him by about 10 yards. Going for Stallings, but right there with him was Isaiah. And also coming over to help Aiden Torres. So that time, Don, they had that one covered.
Yeah, that was good coverage. Brandon kept him in front of him and was able to watch through him to the quarterback. He knew where the ball was all the way. If it had been a little bit shorter coming on down, it would have been in Brandon's arms.
Okay, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Again, Fallbrook trying to capitalize on Isaiah Young's first fumble of the year, but so far not getting far.
Pass.
Now they're going to throw a little pass. And it looks like it, I don't know if he's going to call it a catch. Yes, he is. Wow, what a beautiful catch by Stallings. Got down there and got his long arms on the ground, Don, and that's the only way I figure he could have gotten in there.
Yeah, the ball was thrown knee high, and he had to go down, and he made a good reception, cupped his arms, and got him underneath onto the grass.
Stayed in bounds. The clock is running, and Brawley up 14-7. Long way for Fallbrook to go, but they've covered a lot of ground quickly a couple of times.
Here he comes.
And here comes Washington again. And Washington with a nice move gets around number 24 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That is Gilbert Corrales. But number 23, Isaiah Young, comes up and makes the tackle. And Corrales has got to learn, Don, to play that wide and force that runner back in. He's lucky Isaiah was able to come up.
Yeah. They've got, on that particular one, he's coming out, he's covered, but then the other Brawley back coming on up is coming in too much. He's got to give that spacing so that they can corral him. They got one beside him and one in front of him.
Corrales, again, now out on the one side, and Camilo is going to be on Stalling. Back to pass, it's a fake, it's a quarterback kind of draw, and the quarterback gets out there. Nice shoestring tackle for the Brawley Wildcats out there by number 24, and that was Corrales, the inside linebacker. And again, taking up precious time, Don. We're down to about a minute to go. Brawley up by 7, but Fallbrook moving the football. And again, a great football game. This has been an exciting first half.
Yeah, people who are not in the stands here, we're glad they're watching the game on our program, but they're missing a good game.
Okay, a throw, a nice catch by Stallings, and Stallings going to be tackled immediately out there by Camilo. So Camilo's doing a yeoman's job, considering he's given up some passes and stuff.
Timeout.
Timeout Brawley, as Coach John Self wants to kind of reconnoiter what's going on. We'll be back.
Wildcat Football is brought to you by Johnny's Burritos, with locations in Brawley, Imperial, and El Centro. Johnny's, with a full menu of your favorite Mexican and American food and the best burritos in town. That's Johnny's Burritos. Go Wildcats from Johnny's Burritos in Brawley. This portion of Wildcat Football is brought to you by Clicka Parker Insurance Brokers, located at 350 G Street in Brawley. Stop by and talk with Jeff or Holly, or give them a call at 760-344-0600. That's Clicka Parker Insurance Brokers. Go Wildcats from Clicka Parker Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to Wildcat Football. And I'll tell you, Don, I never noticed the Wildcats have a plethora of cheerleaders. I don't know if they're all varsity or not, but there is obviously a gaggle of them, and I counted like up to 24 on one side, and you put it together, and there are maybe close to 50, it looks like.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's hey, you can't have too much spirit, can you?
Never. Not in high school. That's where the most spirit is. In college, it's just a bunch of goofies yelling and screaming.
And you remember well. 46.1 seconds to go. Fallbrook has a 2nd and 5 on their own 38-yard line. They trail 14-7. And the 14, we have not had a score so far in the second quarter. And now the white hat is coming back over. I don't know why he was way over on the other side. Line judge steps back, and we are ready to rock and roll. And back to pass is McClung, and he's going down.
Go.
Nice dual pressure. 74 for the Wildcats. That's Anthony Arriaga coming in from one side, and from the other side, I believe it was number 72. And 72, that's Alan Carrillo. And that was just good pressure, Don.
Absolutely. That wasn't the pass play I expected, but he didn't get back enough. It was supposed to be quick, but Brawley was just quicker. They read it well.
Credit Coach John Self's timeout. I don't know how else you would do that. And now Fallbrook wants a timeout to see, no, they're going to just let it run out.
Yep.
That's going to be your first half. What a great football game. Tom Ronco, Coach Don Biaggi joining me as my guest host for this week. And at halftime, the score, Brawley 14 and Fallbrook 7. And we're going to be back after a couple of messages with halftime.
This portion of Brawley High Wildcat football is brought to you by the Man Company, where you will find a complete line of quality Shell lubricants, motor oils, grease, and gear oils. You'll find the quality and the service you need at the Man Company in Brawley, located at 1313 Main Street. Go Wildcats from the Man Company. This portion of Wildcat football is brought to you by Ojeda Industries, located on the corner of Best Road and Jones, across from the airport in Brawley. Ojeda Industries has heavy-duty hubs, spindles, and trailer parts, as well as American roller chain and all sorts of bearings. You know Tony and Travis Ojeda. Stop by and see them at Ojeda Industries, located on the corner of Best Road and Jones, across from the airport in Brawley. Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate Agency is a proud sponsor of Wildcat football and has been serving the Valley's real estate and insurance needs since 1930. Stop by their office at 510 West Main Street in Brawley. Go Wildcats from Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate Agency.
Welcome to halftime. Tom Ronco, Coach Don Biaggi. And halftime, we should have somebody else kind of sneaking up here. Let's recap the scoring as Brawley leads by a score of 14-7. First of all, Brawley went 3 and out. And Don Biaggi, they just did not look like they came to play football on that first series.
No, they had a defense that they were not expecting that did some hitting in the beginning, and they crumbled a little bit, but then after a while they began to take a look at things and say, hey, their pads are the same as mine, let's start cracking them, and they did.
Okay, then the Fallbrook Warriors on their first possession got a 44-yard touchdown run by Marquise Washington, who has done some damage but has been corralled of late. But suddenly, just minutes into the ball game, it was 7-0 in favor of the Fallbrook Warriors. The Wildcats then went on a methodical drive, ending up with a touchdown run of 38 yards by Ethan Gutierrez, who did a very nice job on the option. And with 3:52 to go, Jorge Hado added the extra point, and it was 7-7. And Don, a couple of nice runs by Gutierrez. He picks his spots, but he's not afraid to run.
Yeah, when when he comes down that line and they got them looking at the back and then they try to spot on him, he's already spotted where he was going to go and what he's going to do because he knew how they're going to be covering him. And when they made their commitment, he then made his hesitation, made his fake, and made his cut, and then away he went.
Okay, Ethan Gutierrez, who again is in his third year, which I never thought I would say. We've had some 3-year quarterbacks, but he's only a junior. He will be Brawley's first ever 4-year starting quarterback. And remember, he was like 13 years old, and as he famously told me in a quote, I was being chased by adults when he was running the option as a 13-year-old freshman. But he has really matured in so many ways and is such an asset to this Brawley offense. And again, picks his spots, and that one was a 38-yard touchdown run. Brawley then got a touchdown from an unlikely source as Tanner Carranza on in relief of Isaiah Young. And he comes in every once in a while just to give Isaiah a blow or for the coaches to talk to him on offense. But Tanner, it didn't look like anybody knew he was in the game, Don, and he's got 40-some-odd yards, a touchdown run.
When he made the same break down the left sideline here, the near sideline, he was gone and his feet were moving, and there was no way that they were going to catch him because he had a wide opening. Even on the angle the guy tried to take, he had given up before he got anywhere near him. So well played, well executed, and happy camper going across that goal line.
Okay, for those of you just tuning into the webcast, it is 14-7 Brawley. And while I love the Wildcat Band, their idea of halftime tonight is to serenade us. They are right below us. They are not doing anything on the field, as you can see. And they are just kind of playing away. And it's playing on my nerves at the moment, but we will try to talk over them. Never had a problem talking over most things, but this one is a little bit challenging. All right, Wildcats then went up 14-7. And a lot of turnovers in the second quarter. The Wildcats recovered a fumble, and that fumble recovery was by number 72 for the Wildcats. That's Alan Carrillo. And the Wildcats were not able to do anything with that. Then on a punt, a nice tackle by Daniel Camilo, who not only got the ball free from the return specialist, but was able to cover him, and that allowed junior Noah Gonzalez to come in and make the fumble recovery. The Wildcats, unfortunately, couldn't do anything with that because they then turned it over deep in Fallbrook territory. Isaiah Young with his first turnover of the year. But, Don, that's just good adjustment by both teams.
Oh, yeah, they're making adjustments, the coaches are, and the kids are executing it, and that's why it's such a great football game to watch, because it's so tactical, but the kids are calm, and they're making it this great game. So this second half could be very, very interesting.
Well, as in any good football game, we're going to see what Coach John Self and his staff come up with in terms of adjustment, and also what Fallbrook comes up with in terms of adjustment. For Fallbrook, a very nice night. A beautiful night for football. You can't ask for anything better than this. No, go ahead. You weren't mic'd up. Not where? No, not where?
Not in Brawley.
Okay, yeah, we sweated
We're
through.
supposed to be 100 and some odd right now, but I'm sure glad it's a beautiful night.
Yeah, we were expecting maybe inclement weather, Don. Thunderstorms. You told me today, hey, get ready between 1 and 3. We're going to get dumped on. That's what it's saying. But, God apparently doesn't read the Doppler radar.
No, there was rain all around us, and for some reason we had a good high pressure, and it just kept it out of the Brawley area. But it was dropping a lot of rain in the mountains to San Diego and all around us. And by the time 5 o'clock kind of rolled around, I checked the radar, and there was nothing. The thin clouds up there looked like nothing on the radar. So I knew we were going to have a great night.
Well, Fallbrook's players probably had no idea where they were going unless they Googled it. And then when they were in the mountains getting dumped on, they were probably thinking, oh, this is not boding well. But once they got here, they found a beautiful field. We want to give a shout out to Carlos Chaka Alcantar for doing a beautiful job. This is the third game in a row, Don, but the field looks just very well, considering they also play American youth football out here, as they always have. Pop Warner now became American youth football. So everything in perfect conditions. And again, for a visiting team in September, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
You're rolling the dice. And the Wildcats were able to come up with a nice night. Yeah, go ahead, Don.
I was going to say, in fact, today was more like the end of August before September 1st and the opening of dove season, where you always had these kind of heavy thunderstorms that chase the dove away. But it turned into a very positive, so both teams can't complain about having a weather problem.
Okay, we are at halftime, 14-7, Brawley High Wildcats. Right next door to us, they are honoring or talking about the fact that an ex-player of mine, a basketball player, and a baseball player, and an ex-track runner of yours, Tony Leon, very successful wrestling coach. Tony managed to squeeze a lot of things around wrestling, and he is going to be inducted this spring into the California High School Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame. I believe he is going to join Jack Gifford, for whom he did not wrestle. He was way after Gifford's time. And also, I believe Keith Smith is in one of those. You know, we're to the point now where every organization has a Hall of Fame, and my high school does, but I'm still waiting for the call. It's okay. As I tell my grandson, Russell Thomas, up in San Jose, California, you don't need to be the best. You just want to be on the team. You want to contribute. You want to be a part of it. It's the experience, and not everybody wins the trophy, but everybody should be able to enjoy their experience. And I am a Balboa Buccaneer till I die. That's the way that's going to go. Yes,
big shout out to Tony. He worked real hard taking over in the wrestling program. Keith have a wonderful program going, a lot of championships, and then Tony took on over and kept it on going, and just kind of ruled and took on big teams such as Poway, who's always been a powerhouse ever since I can remember during my coaching. And he deserves the credit and the big shout out.
Tony coaches the way he competed for us. Just, nose to the grindstone, do the job, listen to your coach. What he tells you to do, you do it. You don't question it. Mine is not to wonder why. Mine is but to do or die. And he brings that same philosophy to his coaching, and it rubs off on his athletes, and they have consummate faith in him, which they should. But not every coach is able to generate that, Don.
No, that's very important, because he gets across to them that when you start to ask a question, your whole concentration is shot. And in wrestling, like anything else, it's one move. What's the counter? What's the counter to that one? What's the offense to that one? And it keeps going in a revolving until finally one of them makes the wrong move, and it is slapped down and you're pinned.
Okay, fast-moving halftime. Billy Brewer running out of antics after 3 consecutive home games after us being out on the road for 3 weeks. Tough start to the season, Don, to play. Actually, there was 4. Brawley played in the Kickoff Classic at El Capitan High School against Scripps Ranch. Very good football team. Away game, carpet, went to Mater Dei. What a beautiful, beautiful facility. That high school that they built to replace Marian Catholic in Chula Vista. Oh my goodness, it's just beautiful. But again, carpet, and you don't practice on carpet, you practice on grass. And you go play on carpet, and then you come back, practice on grass. And I remember you, as I look across the field here, we are on the south side. On the north side, you got so tired of going to CIF and having track people have to run down a tartan runway to do the triple jump and the long jump that you put in a runway.
Yep.
So, but Brawley can't just roll out a 100-yard carpet and say, let's practice on it. So then they go back to Valley Center, and Valley Center's is a carpet. I mean, if it was in your living room, your wife would make you change it. Okay? I know her. I know Sherry. Hi, Sherry. She would say, get that thing out of there. It's useless. It's a rug. Okay,
Yep.
It's not AstroTurf. It's just beaten down. As you run on it, you see the little pieces of black, the old tires they mashed up, flying all over the place. And so Brawley, till they got to Indio, and then they get to Indio, and Indio's still a sandbox. Okay, still big divots. Kind of looks like the driving range out at one of the country clubs, practice rolling it into the sand and kind of using your sand wedge to get out of there. And then finally come home. And I'll tell you, that's tough on a team.
Yeah, when we used to go up, all of us had just pretty much grass tracks and everything. But Coachella Valley was one of those that when you ran on it, I had to have them run in the second lane because there was a valley in the lane one. And you get in there and you could twist your ankle and fall down. So it was pretty tough for all the runners, especially the distance runners.
Coach Don Biaggi, and again, hopefully some of our webcast listeners are going back and going, oh my goodness, I remember that guy. 30, how many years at Brawley High?
33, 34.
33 or 34. I got you beat by about 4. I'm not as smart as you are. I didn't get out in time. And again, got there in 1971.
71.
Okay, and I got there about 3 years later. And interesting then, we were talking before the game, doesn't appear we have a team doctor tonight, and it's usually one of your ex-runners, Lorenzo Suarez. And I was really surprised, for those of you that go see Doc Suarez, you got something to kind of kid him about when you see him. And I thought, he's a fullback, right? So kind of runs low to the ground. I didn't know what he ran, and a fullback means he's not a sprinter, right? Because you had a halfback. And then you come up with what he did, which is, to me, amazing.
Yeah, he was a very good high hurdler for me, and he also ran in the sprints. And that's why when you watch him, if you remember watching him on the field, he had such good knee lift, and he could knock a lot of people off because he was big and strong to begin with. And we worked a lot on that, and it was great to have Lorenzo and then come back to the Valley to be our doctor.
Yeah, well, for you, not only did you coach Lorenzo, who is now our physician, but you were on my staff when we coached Joe Miramontes, the late Joe Miramontes, God rest his soul.
Yes.
And he went on to Harvard to become a doctor. So, hey, don't sell Brawley short, man. Do not sell Brawley short.
I had another one, Freddie.
Butler.
Freddie Butler, who ran cross country and track for me, and his brother Vince Fortune also did. And Freddie went on to become a doctor too in Northern California. Northern California.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, everyone, you should be proud if you are a Brawley alumni. That's all there is to it, because the school, Don, it's what I think we told our students, but 99.9% didn't believe us. It's school's what you make of it, not what we do.
That's right.
Here we go. First play of the second half from scrimmage, and they're going to give it to Washington, and he's going to get buried at the line of scrimmage. So no adjustment there. And one of the linemen for Fallbrook a little slow getting up. Don, I don't know that they came down here, and we're going to have a timeout. And let me throw this in before we jump out. Let's jump out to a commercial, and we'll be right back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by OK Rubber Tire Company, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor and Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile, and Fry Chapel and Mortuary. And now back to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football.
And it is exciting, and they're going to give it again. I believe that's number 5 again. And I'm trying to see who, number 25 for the Wildcats?
Oh, that was number 13 or something. Going off the little one going off.
Oh, Oh, no, but I meant the tackle for Brawley.
Tackle.
Let me see. I thought I saw 25. Let me look with my binoculars as my eyes lie to me. Make sure he's out there. 25 would be Matthew Moreno. Yes, that's him. He's in at linebacker. He is a freshman, Don, one of 2 freshman linebackers we use. Son of Quito Moreno. And back to pass. Josh is going to go down again. So on 3rd down and long, the Wildcats cover Stallings, and no one else is really an option. And Josh McBroom goes down, and the Wildcats hold. So they come out and hold to 3 and out. So both teams gambled that they're going to be able to get Fallbrook got their way by deferring the kick, but the Wildcats have countered.
Absolutely. And that's the way the second half should have started for the Wildcats.
Okay, a left-footed kicker, and almost getting in there is Platt. But he launches this one, and he gets a left-footed bounce. It's going to die on the 1-yard line. What is the luck of that?
Yeah.
And it looked to me, Don, like it hit a flat spot. It like nested.
Yeah.
It was bouncing and rolling, and then all of a sudden it nested.
Yeah, like anything else, depending on how long you leave the grass, which is this perfect running surface area, you can get a little bit of that, a little more, and then once it comes straight down on that point, it can be locked in and just drop dead.
Okay, the Wildcats leading 14-7. If you just joined us, missing a honey of a football game, don't go anywhere. 10:04 to go. Brawley now 99 yards away, and we'll see what they do. They're leading 14-7 against the Fallbrook Warriors in a honey of a football game between 2 teams that run the wing T, 2 teams that like to use odd man front on defense, and 2 teams that like to hit, because there's hitting going on both sides. Ethan Gutierrez is over center. He's going to stay out of the end zone, and he's going to give it to number 42, I believe. That's Tanner Carranza. And Carranza, who's just kind of learning football as he goes, has very good hands, Don, and he just wrapped up that football, didn't care how far he got. I'm sure they told him, we don't care where you go, just don't lose touch with the football.
Yeah, he has very good balance, and he was over his body and had control. That's why he took control of the running area and got that 7 yards or so, 5 yards.
Okay, yeah, going to bring up 2nd and 5. Gutierrez again under center. Everybody in, no splits, no whatever. And here comes Carranza again. So the Wildcats are starting to give Fallbrook a little bit of a, hey, you were all keying on Isaiah Young. Try this guy. Pickup of 6. No, make it 7. So Carranza picks up 7, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Brawley at their own 12-yard line. And we'll see what happens. So good. Brawley at least gets some breathing room, Don.
Absolutely. The line's getting off very quickly, and then keeping their feet moving.
Gutierrez over center, takes a snap, gets in a little hole, and here goes Carranza. Carranza holding on to the foot. No, loses the football.
Gutierrez.
Oh, Gutierrez, excuse me. I was watching Carranza. It's Gutierrez behind him. And Ethan, with the fake, makes the read and picks up 8. And that'll get Brawley out to the 21-yard line. So Brawley doing, Don, what it seems like Brawley has done from time eternal. Pound the rock.
Pound the rock. Make sure you keep them off balance.
Okay, Gutierrez again over center. Everybody in tight. Double wing T. Give to Carranza.
There's that hole I was talking about.
Yep, Carranza just couldn't quite get right through there. But I think I see something. It's a 1st down. So Carranza picks up, let's see, it was the 12, so they needed to get to the 22. They are at the 25. So he picked up about 5 more yards. And it'll be 1st and 10, the Wildcats at the 25-yard line as they methodically kind of do this. I think they're going to give him a steady diet of Carranza and then bring in the burner. and say, okay, now try to catch Isaiah. Out of the shotgun now, trips, little throw outside, and in and out of the hands. Looks like it actually bounced off Washington, son of Donnell Washington. Don, I'm sure he was out on track.
He was very good. Tall, lanky kid. Had
Yep.
a lot of speed. Very coachable.
Yep, he was my guest host. Not Valley Center. That was Pedro. Week after that, at Indio. Yep, son kind of built like him, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Okay.
There was 2 receivers out there, and I think the ball, they detracted from one another. But it was a good play, wide
Okay,
open.
here goes Carranza on the outside, and as Fallbrook kind of, concentrates on that middle, Carranza's taking it off tackle. That's another staple for the Brawley Wildcats. And he's going to pick up, after an incomplete, he's going to pick up a first down out to the 37. So that's going to be a pickup of 12. And here we go. Brawley moving the football. This time, doubles.
Looks like.
Wide receivers and slots. First time we've seen that formation tonight. And a nice pass. And this one's going to be out here to the Wildcats. It'll be caught by number 4. That's Brandon Portis. And Portis will pick up about 5 yards. Nice safe throw. And it just kind of spreads the field, huh?
Yeah.
Six.
That situation, he has time, and he could give a quick fake to that one, and the outside receiver turn up the field, and they have a wide open field.
6:05 to go. Brawley leading 14-7. Drive started on the 1-yard line. Now all the way out past the 40. At the 41. So far Brawley with 40 yards to show.
Linebacker
working
Brawley.
the clock. And we're going to have some kind of is that going to be defensive offsides?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Let's see what. Oh, no, they're going to say that somebody moved. I'm not so sure about that one.
Far referee on the other side called it.
Okay. All right. Still not sure. Okay. But we'll see what happens. Brawley now with a penalty. And not anything big. It's been a penalty, pretty much free game, don't you think, Don?
Yeah, and that makes for a nice game. You don't worry about.
And here goes Carranza. Carranza gets outside. Carranza's still on his feet. Carranza finally gang tackled. And it appears that they're getting a little tired, Don. They are not able to just take him down one man. And he gets all the way into Fallbrook territory to their 43-yard line.
The hole that the Brawley Wildcats opened up, you could have run a Mack truck through it. I mean, it was a beautiful hole, and plus he used his blockers in front of him to make his cuts off of, and it was excellent. He never gave up.
24-yard run by number 42. Here we go. Wildcats on the move. 14-7. And back as Ethan Gutierrez fakes the pass. Oh, and he loses the football. And are they going to call him down, or are they going to say he fumbled it?
It looks like it was a fumble.
It looks like a fumble. So Gutierrez, we still do not have an answer for that blitzing linebacker, Don. They're not keeping a back in to block for Ethan, and it's pretty obvious we need to rethink that maybe.
They're watching what kind of formation, because there's a particular formation that Brawley throws from most of the time, and when it's up, that's when he's blowing.
Okay, so Fallbrook takes over on the Brawley 42-yard line, and now they got some life back in them. Uncharacteristically, Brawley with a number of turnovers tonight. It didn't have them against either Mater Dei or Valley Center. But again, the Wildcats find themselves in a middle of a Donnybrook. 14-7. Everybody in tight. And here comes number 15 trying to run and find somewhere to go. But good surge by the Wildcat line.
Yeah,
Down the bottom down there for the Wildcats, number 17, Robert Platt. Number 67 for the Brawley Wildcats, Bernie Bustamante.
Yeah, this game right now is beginning to look like games we used to have against India, where you got to beat the heck out of India and keep beating the heck, because you give them any light, they could come back on you. And it looks like Fallbrook's we're gonna have to do that to Fallbrook.
Okay, Wildcats look like they were going to answer, and here goes number 27 or 23, and he cuts back, and wow, what a huge run as the Wildcats, that might have been a wing back just going by, and they hand it off to the wing back. Might have been the first time we've seen that, and it sure caught the Brawley Wildcats napping a little bit. Yeah, and now there's a flag, I believe.
Yeah, there's a flag right here, way back here on the 31-yard line. They're waving it off, I guess.
Okay, well, so they're going to, that's, so Fallbrook trying to capitalize on the turnover. And in a position to tie this football game up with a 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. And again, they're coming up with new wrinkles, Don, every play.
Yeah, they just carried that one out wider and got blockers out there very quickly.
Okay, here we go.
Coming this way.
Everybody's gonna he's rolling out, trying to throws across the end zone and throws over everybody. Good coverage by the Wildcats and good pursuit. Josh McBroom let go of that football, and but he had nowhere to go and just decided to kind of toss it. Had 2 receivers in the same area, Don. So again, one of those things where you think the ball's yours, but maybe it's the other guy's.
Yeah.
Tends to confuse a little bit in high school. Stops the clock at 3:03 to go, and the Brawley High Wildcats will see what they can do, as it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Brawley Wildcats.
Big receivers back
Big
in.
receivers back in, and he's split out. They're going to give a little inside run, and that's going to get nowhere. The give was on a little bit of a power play to the Brawley, to number 18, I believe, for first time he's carried the ball. They're using a different group of running backs. Wildcats out there, number 35 on the tackle for the Wildcats. Matthew Gutierrez on that other inside linebacker. We have 2 freshmen out there, I believe. Matthew Moreno and Matthew Gutierrez. And let me see. Moreno is out. Gutierrez is in. Doesn't matter. 3rd and 10. And here you go. They're going to try a keeper. And that got absolutely nowhere. And the Wildcats stand him up. First one to get him is Robert Platt. And again, grandson of Jay Platt, and I want to mention his parents one more time because I feel so bad. We have talked, Don, incessantly about Jay. He just so many good stories about him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, everyone in town knew him. But Robert is the son of Robert Platt, so named after his dad. And mom is Rosie de Guzman. So we probably had both them in there somewhere between us.
Here we go.
1:43 to go. They're going to go for it, and it's going to be a pass.
Fake pass.
And a fake pass, and he is going to run right in. Holy Toledo. You could just see that the Wildcats did not have that center of the field covered, Don. They were bringing pressure from the outside, dropping people in the middle, and nowhere for anybody to come back.
Yeah, they went after the back and the wide receivers, and he stepped back. He went back far enough to make it really look like a pass, and then stepped forward, and that hole just opened up like nobody's business.
Okay, so here's the extra point to tie. And the kick is up, and it is good. And suddenly, with about a minute 33 to go here in the third quarter, we have ourselves a ball game. We are back to 0, figuratively speaking, as it is 14-14. Don Biaggi and I will be back after this.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos in El Centro, Brawley and Imperial, Ojeda Industries, and the Man Company.
Welcome back to Warren Field. Tom Ronco with Coach Don Biaggi on the Desert Review webcast of exciting 2021 Brawley High Wildcat football, and we have an even game, and the Wildcats turnover came back to get them. Brawley will try to return this, and they are going to try. That didn't look very good, but they get out. Nice return nonetheless, out to about the 25-yard line. That just seemed to, I don't know what they were setting up. That's Brandon Portis out there, and now he's got a cramp. And we have two, actually, Wildcats down. Portis is able to get up and run the cramp off for the Brawley Wildcats, number 35. That's the freshman. And you got to love a freshman, Don, that sits out there on special teams and takes care of his teammates. That's the kind of freshman I want around.
Yep. It's called team, T-E-A-M.
Okay, and now the Wildcats going to have the coaching staff go out there. We'll step back for a moment, and we'll take a look at that touchdown drive when we get back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by Clicker Parker Insurance Company, A&R Construction, Brawley Auto Center, Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate, One World Beef Packers, and the Town Pump and Brownies Restaurant. And now, more exciting Brawley High Wildcat football.
Okay, we've been talking about Brandon Portis doing a lot on offense and everything. The center of the team is Brian Portis, and that is Brian kind of coming off kind of gingerly, which the Wildcats do not need, which means they're going to have to get a center out there, and let's see who it's going to be. The Wildcats, will see who the center is. We should probably be talking about the offensive line some anyway. Out there, number 71, Jonathan Garcia. I know that Levangelist Pittman is also out there for the Wildcats, along with number 67. That's Bernie Bustamante. And we'll see who the center is. And I got the wrong guy, so we'll tell you in a moment. 1st and 10 Wildcats after they see the game tied up. And nice surge by that offensive line, by the way. And gain of about 3 for the Wildcats. Brawley starting this drive on their own 25-yard line. That's Carranza picking up 3. I'm wondering now if there's something wrong with Young, because this looks like it's a little more than a diversion. Oh, now, yeah, I say that Young is back in the backfield. And here comes Young. And he runs, and they are kind of waiting for him. And but he will still pick up about 5. And that will bring up a 3rd and 2. And Brawley needs to do, we got another Wildcat down. And that is quarterback Ethan Gutierrez, who appears to have some kind of a cramp in his lower leg. And I believe he has to come off the field. The backup, no, that looks a little bit like a high something or other. Okay, so, yeah. Wildcats need to regroup. They have a new center, and number 74 is out there for the Wildcats. That's Anthony Arriaga. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter, which could prove to be a very costly third quarter, depending on what happened to Ethan Gutierrez. We'll find out, and we'll bring you the fourth quarter when we continue after this.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it coming.
zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your many sides, there's Nationwide. Call Hart Insurance Center, 898 Main Street, Brawley, or in the Prince Plaza, 1503 North Imperial Avenue, El Centro. Since 1945, we have a heart for personal service.
Whether you're buying, selling, or renting a home, or for all your agricultural needs, call on the Dom team, your experienced hometown agents who have served the Imperial Valley since 2002. Let the Dom team make your next real estate transaction more successful and enjoyable. Give Doug or Andy a call at 760-427-6741. The Dom team, proud supporters of Wildcat football.
Okay, welcome back to Brawley High Wildcat football. 14-14, and we are starting the fourth quarter with the Wildcats in possession of the football with third and short. And it's going to be Ethan Gutierrez back in the game. And I'll tell you what, Isaiah Young is just being stuffed. And he is going to lose a yard. And I don't know. I can't see a reason, Don, why he can't get his motor going. But good to see that at least Gutierrez is back. But again, you don't want to give the football back, but you have to.
Yeah, Gutierrez came back in, but his foot or something is still bothering him, and they changed their whole strategy, and so it's Katie bar the door. They're going to come.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. They're going to say leading with they're going to tack yardage on that. They're going to say that he I don't know. This is going against Brawley. I will tell you that right now.
There was no fair catch signal that I saw.
Well, but you can't lead with the helmet. You can't target something or other. There's a term they have for it. So the guy was vulnerable, and you just kind of smashed him. See? So now they're going to get 15 yards on top of that. And, wow. Okay. It's all for the protection of the players. But it comes at the most inopportune times and is a big penalty. Okay? My feeling is the old way, which is you threw the guy out if he took a cheap shot. I like that better. Okay? But this is going to just, wow.
It's hard to tell what it is anymore. Because it's still judgment. Exactly.
Okay, here comes Fallbrook, and they got a guy loose. And, if Fallbrook's got to be feeling it, Gumps, they are getting the stops on Brawley, and they are moving on offense. So as you said, you got to kind of let that sleep. You can't wake that sleeping dog up, and they are now slowly but surely taking a little bit of command of this football game.
You got 67 for Brawley.
Another cramp. And that is, of course, Bernie Bustamante, who has been going both ways, and a lot of these linemen have not been doing that, but were forced into it because of what Fallbrook was doing. And we'll see what the Wildcats can do. And we got I don't see Gutierrez being taped or anything, so I'm going to kind of assume that whatever it was, it's okay. And this time
it was a double,
a kind of a double reverse or a double handoff.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, it took too long, and the Wildcats were all over it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a nice defensive stand by the Brawley defense.
74, I think, was standing there giving him a kiss.
Yep, Anthony Arriaga. 14-14, 10 minutes to go in this game, and don't go anywhere. It is far. Well, it's obviously it's even. Let's see what they do.
Passing formations.
Okay, this is one of the formations where they pass, and McBroom is able to get out. Now he's able to get the ball out. And a nice tackle by the Wildcats out there by number 23 for them. And that is Isaiah Young. But the Wildcat defender had to make a choice between defending number 5 or stopping the quarterback. And as soon as he made one move towards the quarterback, he unloaded it. So the Wildcats still able to kind of minimize the damage a little bit. But, that's the kind of play. 72 with great pursuit for the Wildcats. That's Alan Carrillo. But if you get there and you don't get them, that sometimes doesn't help. Leaves you a defender down. 9:19 to go, 14-14. Handoff, and he's going to be close. But they're going to say his knee is down. The side judges are about a yard at least short. Interesting to see what Fallbrook wants to do on the road. The Wildcats are just beat up, Don. Holy. Adiaga now coming off. So I would say they're going to go for it, wouldn't you, the way your defense is playing?
Absolutely. It's the fourth quarter. There's 8 minutes.
You're on the road.
It's a non-league game. You're on the road. You go for all breaks. Your team has got to step up because next week or two they're going to be in their own league, and they're going to have to be ready. And Brawley's
here it goes. 4th and 2, and the Wildcats, they're going to say what? Time out. Okay. So. Wow, Fallbrook did not like something. Brawley was in, I would call gold line. That's all I can call it, right? And as you say, nothing to lose. The Wildcats, without a week off, and at some point playing 9 straight weeks in this day and age may not. The Wildcats had no choice. They did the best schedule. Billy Brewer does an excellent job, and that's not any criticism, but just the way this thing has played out, however, has, wow. We'll be back.
Brant Beef, the true natural, is a proud sponsor of tonight's Brawley Wildcat football game. Brant Beef is dedicated to helping you know the difference and to taste the difference in their beef products. Go Brawley Wildcats from the Brant Beef Company.
Okay, we are back. 8:28 to go. 4th and 2. Out of the shotgun. So out of the setbacks. They're going to try to get outside. And he's going to a nice block by the quarterback. And they're going to call it back. Yes, it's a block in the back, I would assume. And that's coming back. Holy Toledo. The Wildcats appeared to have number 3. That's Josh McBroom. And, number 5, Marquise Washington. They could not bring him down. But here's the call by the referee. Personal foul against the Fallbrook Warriors. And Fallbrook now has a man down, I believe. Or is that a Wildcat? I can't tell way over there. No, it's a Warrior. And they're going to say, I'm not quite sure what the hands together mean. I apologize. Look it up on the internet, I guess.
Yeah, I've never seen that call.
It could be, okay. Why? No. Okay, well, high school football signals. Maybe we can look that up. We'll see what we can come up with. And now it is going to be 4th down and 21. Big penalties helping the Wildcats on this drive. And they are going to punt is Fallbrook. And that gives them a little room. Back figuring a fair catch is Camilo. Camilo makes the catch at about the 21-yard line. And still trying to figure out what that is.
I've never seen that motion. I have no idea. It's a big 15-yarder, and so it's like an unsportsmanlike, but exactly what he did.
Yeah. Puts their fists together, and I can't even Google can't tell me what that means. Okay, and here we go. So for the Brawley High Wildcats, this could be the drive. It has to be the drive. They are running out of time. They are starting 1st and 10 on their own 22. And what happened on that one?
Fallbrook was in the backfield.
Fallbrook just sent everybody on a jailbreak while Gutierrez tried to go back, and he just got buried. So it's going to be Gutierrez is going to take I guess you call that a sack or a loss. It doesn't matter. -2 yards. And I'll tell you, Fallbrook now feeling pretty chipper. And Brawley now with the doubles, slots, and wide receivers. And here is Gutierrez deep in his own territory. Throws, nice catch, nice tackle. But they're going to give him forward progress. That is number 5, Washington. And he is going to pick up about
5.5.
Well, no, it was actually 12. So he picked up 7. It's going to bring up about they give him 8. Let's make it 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. Brawley, again, may have to make a decision here pretty quick as to what they are going to do in a 14-14 tie with 6:50 to go in the 4th quarter. Great football game. Glad you could join us. Next Friday night, we will be at Southwest High School. Throw over the middle. Nice throw and catch. And I'll tell you, that was to number 5 again. And he is targeting Washington. And the ball, that's going to be a
1st and 10.
Passing play of about 12 yards. I'll make it 10. 1st and 10, Wildcats at their own 40-yard line. Gutierrez out of the shotgun, has trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Get somebody back in to help him. Now he's got some room to run. And he runs right by a would-be tackler. He's on his way. He cuts back in. Holy Toledo. From the 40-yard line of the Wildcats, Gutierrez takes it all the way down to the Fallbrook 31. We're looking around. We have a flag. What do we have? Uh-oh. Referee's running back with the football. That is never good news. And here's the signal. Holding on Brawley. Wow. Okay, so that is coming back, and then some. It's kind of funny. It's usually from the point of the infraction. But this time they took it back to the line. I guess if it's past the line of scrimmage, you go to the line of scrimmage and you end up with a -10. Okay, so we'll try to figure that out.
Was it 1st and 20?
1st and 20. 5:46 to go.
Well executed. I don't know where that hold was.
Well, it's hard to say. Everybody running around, and it was kind of a busted play. Back to pass is Gutierrez, and he is going to be downed again. They are just shooting people, and Ethan is taking way too long to get rid of the ball. Fallbrook's come in with a good game plan, Don Biaggi, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they shot those gaps on them because they were 2 steps and they were through the line.
Okay, a jailbreak is what Brawley calls it when they just kind of shoot all the 7 or 8 up front. And you got to be able to get rid of the football. 2nd now and 20. Maybe probably 22.
27.
27, yeah. Back to passes Gutierrez. He gets flushed out again. He looks, he throws, trying to come back to get the football, and it is incomplete. Pass intended out there for number 4, Brandon Portis. And the Wildcats, just penalties putting him in a heck of a jam, Coach.
Yeah, you named it. I don't know. That was such a pretty run, and it looked like the play was set up to either pass or run it. And I didn't see anybody, but whatever the official was looking at saw somebody grab something.
Okay.
And Fallbrook had one in the same manner too. That took their drive away. So.
Yep. Okay, Wildcats now are going to put Isaiah Young in the backfield. They bring out Tanner Carranza. They're going to put trips, and now Brawley, sensing the urgency of this third down play, is going to call timeout. I would assume, as we go to a quick break, I'm going to assume that the Wildcats are going to try to get not all of it back right now, but a good portion of it, and we'll see what happens. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Brownie's Diner in Brawley and the Town Pump Restaurant in Westmoreland are proud sponsors of Wildcat football. Brownie's is open daily from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving delicious American and Mexican food, while the Town Pump serves the best steaks and seafood in the North End from 4:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Go Wildcats from Brownie's and the Town Pump.
Okay, back at Warren Field, and Don Biaggi, one of our sponsors, we had lunch at Brownie's today. Brownie's is Brownie's from 7 in the morning until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Then at 5 o'clock, they open back up as the Town Pump. Same menu, same steaks. Gabe Revelar brought all the oven, everything, the whole cooking caboodle, all the way from Westmoreland, and set it up at Brownie's. So everything's the same. You're just eating in Brawley instead of in Westmoreland. And great food. Here we go.
Great food, absolutely.
Big third down play. They're going to rush. They're going to try to get him. He's going to try to get out. He does get out, but he can't get away from his own lineman. Now he's still on his feet. And Gutierrez, with just a tremendous run, he did all that on his own, Don Biaggi.
Absolutely. He had somebody open, but they got through enough to defer him, and all he could do is see the daylight, make a turn, make a move one way or the other, and hopefully his blockers would keep bumping people and give him the chance to see where the daylight was. He got it back. It gives us a little bit better to do the punting, but he's been taking a pretty big beating over there.
Yep, he's down on one knee, and he's had Tanner Carranza. They give him a bunch of time, and he gets a nice kickoff, and it's going to squib away and get a nice Brawley roll and die about the 15-yard line. So a big punt.
That's one of the best punts at the right time that any kicker can get.
Okay, that line of scrimmage was about the 28. So give him 22 and 35. That's going to be 57 yards total on that with the roll.
Pretty close.
Of number 2, Stallings. Stalling is now going to be covered out there by Young.
Passing formation.
And they're in a passing formation, double wing, and they are going to call timeout. So with 2nd and 11, a timeout with 2:05 to go. And a great ball game, Don. We are going to be back next Friday night. I will be at Southwest High School for a game with the Eagles. It'll be the first Imperial Valley League game of the season for the Wildcats. The league down to 5 teams: Brawley, Imperial, Central, Southwest, and Calexico for this year, and that is a key phrase. We will be examining that in more detail as the league goes on. In all sports, it's to be announced as to what exactly your league is. But for this year, that's the known suspects. And of course, we will play the following week here against Imperial, the following Thursday here at Warren Field against Calexico, and then 2 weeks later on October 29th, the Bell game at Central High. So lots of football left. Come out and see some. 2:05 to go, and it's a pass, and it's dropped. For the Brawley High Wildcats, number 15 helps them out. Deegan Cerulli, Cerulli. One of our countrymen, I would say, Donald. And he helped out the Wildcats on that one. He wouldn't have gotten much, but he would have got maybe 5 and taken the ball out of bounds. Although the incomplete pass also kind of stops the clock. Great football game. Glad you could join us on the Desert Review. You can review this on YouTube. As you're watching it, it'll be posted up by tomorrow. Back to pass. And
run.
And my partner, Don Biaggi, calling out some defensive signals as he would have as a linebacker. And nice play by the Wildcats. And they are able to stop Josh McBroom. And a timeout is called, and I believe Brawley is going to try to preserve as much time as they can. I do not believe, but it could be a coach's decision as to whether we will play overtime, which would be ball, I think, starts at the 10-yard line or 15 or 20 or whatever. I think they took it away a couple years ago from the coaches and said, if it's non-league, you don't do it.
You don't do it.
Okay, because of CIF seating. But now that CIF seating is by power rankings, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you, but we'll find out.
The question is, are they willing to do some trickery in a set play that fakes one thing and does something else? Or are they willing to actually punt the ball and try to pin Brawley way back with the type of offense that Brawley has way back, like on the 15-yard line, where they have to go 70 yards in order to get a decent look at a field goal?
Okay, your goddaughter texted me a while ago and I missed it. She said hi. Here we go, back to, there's the punt. Oh, kind of partially blocked and out of bounds. Now that's going to be interesting because it flew out of bounds, and if he does it, he's going to bring it up. He's got to come up a little bit more.
He's at
right
the
there.
40.
He's at the 40, so Brawley with excellent field position as they are able to hurry that punt.
Yeah, that was a good play by Brawley, defensive line getting in there and making him take his eyes off of what he needed to do, and that was make contact with the ball.
Brawley's been able to come up with some good special teams play, and we will see what happens. We have 1:35 to go. Brawley has the football. The game is 14-14. We have doubles, right and left. And back to pass is Ethan Gutierrez. He throws over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of number 6, Daniel Camilo Jr.
Well, we can't have that.
No, that was a critical non-catch. It would have got Brawley, if he's holds on to it, about 10 yards, among other things, and would have kept everything moving. Now we're facing a 2nd and 10, and now you got to pass a little bit further every time. Here we go again. We're going to set doubles on doubles, and Gutierrez with a back. He's going to keep Young back, I'm sure. And no, Young drops out. He's going to throws over to the sidelines, And I believe the ball is in and out of the hands of of Washington. Mackay Washington. And now we're looking at giving Fallbrook enough time. So at some point you need to burn, either you got to get a first down or you got to burn some clock.
Yeah, that short first man up and the second man longer, that has been the best bread and butter play on a pass play that Brawley has had. Because it draws the D-backs way back and the short man hasn't, then you got a blocker.
Okay, here we go. Doubles again. In motion is Young. They're going to try to swing it out. Gutierrez now has plenty of time. He looks around, and now he's going to go down. You can't fault the line on that one, Donald J. They gave him all the time in the world.
No. Yeah, the first 5-6 yards was when the receivers were open, and then they were tightened down on, and it from the back where he was, he didn't see anything where he could throw in there without it being intercepted. But that's really too bad. They had the good opportunity to pick up 5 or 6 yards at a time with that passing play and work it on down and maybe throw in a running play on a deceptive move from a passing formation.
Okay, Fallbrook does not try to stop the clock. Carranza kicks it, another boomer, and they're going to let this roll, which is great because it takes time. Let it roll. Who's 31? Chris Camilo, sophomore. Come on, Chris. You let it run until you hear the whistle. You do not stop the game. Okay? You do not stop the game. I know it's maybe 1 or 2 seconds, Don, but it's an attitude on special teams that Brawley needs to develop. Okay, for the Wildcats now, they send in, and again, I don't have a number 37, so that's interesting. Could be Brody Enders. Here come the Wildcats. Again, 29 seconds, 14-14.
Here comes that run again.
Here comes the run, and he gets loose, and he may not, a game-saving tackle from behind for the Brawley High Wildcats by number 24, Gilbert Corrales. And oh my business, the Wildcats, they look like they're ready to run out the clock, and you almost give it up. Okay, we'll have to find out who 37 is. Okay, they're just going to let it run out. They are not in a hurry to start a play. I assume they figure overtime. And now, with 3 seconds to go, they call a timeout. I don't know what that was all about. I have no idea. Next Friday night, we will be webcasting from Freeway Stadium. It doesn't have an official name, but it's right next to the freeway at Southwest. And we'll be in the great outdoors. Should be another beautiful evening. And Brawley High Wildcat football, I'll tell you what. Scheduled Fallbrook and got a little bit more than I think they bargained for. And let me see, I gotta find a way to set this thing so it goes on. Nope. Okay, well, I would assume everybody's gonna be just playing deep.
They still got to watch that running play because that's the one that they have big openings for.
Okay, here we go. It's a passing formation, and lots of time they throw it out there for Stallings, and it's picked off by Brawley, but no, they're going to call pass interference. Late after the interception, a flag comes flying in, and I don't mind the call. Just call it right away. Don't watch it unfold. When you see the interference, call it. Now, least you think they're going to get the ball on the 21-yard line, you are wrong. Even if it's egregious, it's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. So they will get 15 yards from the 45, which will put them at the Brawley 40. They will get one more play because the game cannot end on a defensive penalty. Okay, Brawley kind of knew what was going to happen. They had enough people there. Just let him catch it and tackle him. Who cares? All right, let's see what happens. No time on the clock. First time we've ran a play this season like that. Back to pass. McBroom is now he has to run. No, he's over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So beyond the line of scrimmage, that's a no play. Now you can end the game on an offensive penalty. And I guess I don't know what the rules are. I don't know, apparently they're talking to Coach John Self. He is the host. And maybe his call, if he says, nope, we want a tie, it'll be a tie. But I know him, and he wants to play. Okay? And we're going overtime. First overtime game of the year. And the referees are getting together to discuss this. I am not sure what we're doing.
No, the
both
rules change so much.
Yeah.
That I've been gone for a few years in terms of not being able to see Brawley, and I'm glad to see the kind of team Brawley has coming back on the field. But what they're going to do on this, I would have presumed they're going to do what a normal timeout is, unless something is different in the rules. But this could go on all night if they keep playing the way they're playing, just this hard-nosed stuff.
Okay, well, we're trying to figure out what's going on. We don't have an official word as to what's going on. So we're going to assume we're going to overtime. And let's see what we can come up with there. Okay, let's see if we can find out what the rules are. To start overtime, the offensive team puts the ball in play. First and goal on the defensive team's 10-yard line or succeeding spot if carryover penalty has been administered. Anywhere between the hash marks. The first offensive team shall have a series of 4 downs. That series shall be terminated by any score by the offensive team or if the defensive team has possession of the ball. Okay, so that's what we got out of that. And I don't know that that's necessarily California. I asked for California. And we'll see what we get from another source. Okay, if the score at the conclusion of regulation is tied, there will be a timeout. Captains of the two squads will meet at midfield with officials for the flip of the coin. The winner of the toss will have the option to defend a goal or to determine possession. Each team will get one timeout. Then each team will have the opportunity to score from the 25-yard line, and the team which outscores the other in the overtime session will be the winner, following the rules of football.
What's
if a second overtime, okay, so.
What's the length of time for the overtime?
No, there is, okay, each team gets one shot from the 25. They can get a first down, they can score, they can kick a field goal, or nothing. If the second overtime period is needed, a 2-point conversion must be attempted by the team scoring a touchdown. So for now, you can score, kick an extra point, get your 7, let the other team go for the 2 points if they want to, or tie you. And I did not see the toss. I'm sorry, I was reading that. Okay, so we are going to see, apparently the Wildcats are going to defend. So, okay, OT. All right. Okay, Brawley's going to be on defense. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for Fallbrook. And let's see what happens.
Here comes that run.
Here's a run on the inside, and the Wildcats are there this time. In mass. Trying to see who's the guy on the bottom of the pile. That's number 35 for the Brawley High Wildcats, freshman linebacker Matthew Gutierrez. And that gains about a yard. Give him 2 if you want to, 1.5 yards, 2. And the Wildcats now are going to be defending again. We are in overtime, 14-14 tie. And run up the middle. And this time, Brawley is there again. Platt is there. Who's at the bottom?
70.
Number 32 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That is Mario Cazarat. He's a linebacker. I haven't said his name much, but he's been in the middle of all those piles. I will tell you that much. Brawley with number 74 at nose guard, Anthony Arriaga. And thank goodness it's a cooler night than we expected, because otherwise these guys would be dead going both ways. All right, going to bring up 3rd and 7. And of course there'll be no punt. And oh, what a play. Holy Toledo. Jumping in there for the Brawley High Wildcats is the aforementioned number 74, Anthony Arriaga, and he jumped that play. Now, you don't punt, so you get 4 downs.
Why is the ball back where it was?
Well, they're giving him forward progress to there.
He didn't go anywhere. He hit him in the backfield.
Yeah, well, again, we can't, a poor spot, and again, not the
field goal attempt.
Yeah, not the best referee game we've had, but again, it's going to be a yard or 2. Let's see what happens. Out to try the field goal, and now Brawley's going to call it's only, oh no, they decided at the last second to try a punt. Okay, and they're going to send out number 3, I believe. Is that Josh? Is he also the kicker? No.
The field goal kicker.
Is what I'm trying to find his number. They don't list one. We'll see what. I would assume McBroom with his hands is the holder. Okay, the field goal looks like it's going to be spotted, Don, around the 30.
Yeah.
About the 30-yard line, making it a 40-yard field goal attempt.
Number 1, I think, is the left-footed kicker.
Okay. All right. That's Jonah. And
he's got a good toe.
Yeah, he's left. You are right. He is left-footed. Here come the Wildcats, and they block it. They block it. Holy Toledo, they get a hand on it. Knifing through there, I believe, is number 32 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That's Mario Cazares. And for a guy whose name I didn't call pretty much the whole game, he's Mr. Overtime.
Yeah, he waited to make sure he had all the attention on him.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job.
Why the heck mess around with it? So, number 32 gets a part of a block. He didn't totally block it, but I know he got a piece of it. And now now the Brawley High Wildcats have to just try to get close enough for Jorge Haro. And the Wildcats are going to come out in trips. They have an extra man on the field, and off. Now, this shouldn't happen.
What is going on?
The referees have stopped this, and the coach wants to know why. And I don't know. They don't want the clock. They want the clock. All right, that's say Brawley's bacon, but there's no way you should have not been working on that where you have confusion. All right.
What, they stopped the band from playing?
Yeah, I guess so. Here we go, and here is Isaiah Young, and Young, who has not had a signature run tonight. I don't think he's had a run of 10 yards. Carries it forward for a couple of yards. So Young picks up 2, and now's the throw out there, and it's going to be to Brandon Portis, and Portis is going to be out of bounds. Nice little pitch and throw on just a quick, almost a screen, wouldn't you say, Don?
Yeah, he took the ball and he just set on up and threw it out to the right side, and everybody had pulled back expecting him to run down the field. He got it, and he had an open field, and he had a couple blockers, and he was able to go. I thought he was going to get a cutback and get in the end zone, but they did get to him, and the 5-yard line is where he went out.
Okay.
Now Brawley's line. Come on. Let's knock them on the butts.
Let's see if, okay, here goes Isaiah, and Young is in the end zone for a touchdown. Isaiah Young, when the money is there, running to the left, running to the left.
That was all great line work for him. Boy, they knocked those guys down and out of the way, and Brandon had a lane following those blockers down the field into the goal line. What a great football game. Neither one of these teams should be down on it. Yeah, you lose, but you played exceptional ball, not knowing what each other is like actually as football team and what kind of a group of people you're going to be playing against. Exceptional game. Both coaches did a great job.
Okay. Wow. I'll tell you what, Coach Don Biaggi shows up, and I should have known there was going to be fireworks.
Yeah.
What a football game. Brawley's first overtime victory, and I, off the top of my head, can't remember last OT game. It's not the first of Coach John Self's career, but I'll find out which one it is. But a great game, much more, Fallbrook much more than Brawley, I think, thought coming in. And I'll tell you what, if this is a Division 5 school, then Division 5 is a lot tougher than I thought. I think this school is going to be a force to be reckoned with in Division 5. Hopeville was supposedly going to come and scout these guys, and I'll tell you what, they're going to be a handful in the playoffs, Don.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They were well poised. Both sides had made mistakes, and they came back from those mistakes and played exceptional ball. And it was great to watch Fallbrook. Remember, we had a couple of former teachers that went to Fallbrook and coached up there. Marty Houck, track and field, cross country, and it was a great area that they went to. They enjoyed it, and we enjoyed having them down here. But Fallbrook is going to play some very good football and going to be heck for the teams in their league to contend with.
Understand why Fallbrook they lost last week to Ramona, which is a Division II school, by a touchdown, and now I understand why.
You betcha.
Now we understand. We didn't know how good Ramona is. Now we know. Ramona's got to be pretty good too.
Yeah,
everybody's pretty good.
This is the first time in about 2.5 years because I'm usually away at this time of the year, watching Brawley play, and they did a very good job. I love the way this team is put together and what they're doing out there and how they're playing out there.
Okay, next Friday night, we will be webcasting from Freeway Park, and that is Freeway Stadium at the campus of Southwest High School. It'll be the opening of the IVL, and I'll tell you what, Brawley got a, you know, I don't know if we're going to face a tougher team besides the Central Spartans along the way, but I'll tell you what, Brawley has now played a number of good teams, so hopefully they'll be ready for Imperial Valley League play.
And I want to say thanks for asking me to come on up tonight. I want to give a shout out to all those former students and athletes of mine. It's great to be back here in Brawley and watching the football games, and I hope you guys can come down and watch games and track meets, basketball, wrestling, etc., and enjoy it. You guys made my life really great down here, even though you think sometimes I think that you made it rough on me, but that just made me a better person, and I appreciate you for it. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll say amen to that, as both Don and I have retired from the active teaching. Brawley Wildcats, everybody all excited over here now, going to sing the alma mater with the cheerleaders, and again, there's enough cheerleaders there to fill up a choir bin. Final score, Brawley 20. And Fallbrook 14. What a heck of a ball game. Again, next Friday night, we will be at Freeway Field in El Centro as the Wildcats open up IVL against the Southwest Eagles. Meanwhile, for Don Biaggi, I'm Tom Ronco, reviewing the sponsors one more time. It includes Jordan Central Implement and Brawley El Centro and Imperial. Clickup Parker Insurance Company. OK Rubber Tire. The Dom Team for Real Estate, Lidco and Carter Taylor, Clayton Drain Tile and Maintenance, Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate, Brownie's Diner and the Town Pump, all in one location, but again, good food morning, noon, and night. Also, Johnny's in El Centro, Imperial, and Brawley, of course, Hart Insurance Centers in Brawley and El Centro, Ojeda Industries here in Brawley, Brant Beef, Fry Chapel and Mortuary, The Man Company, A&R Construction, Desert RV, One World Beef Packers, and Doc Barnitsky and the Vision Care Center on Main Street. Again, for Don Biaggi and Lloyd and Betty Miller of the Desert Review, this is Tom Ronco saying see you next week.